So we are reading from the Mandukya Upanishad. This is our online class number 20 on chapter number 1. And we will be studying the mantra number 8. We have almost finished the mantra number 7 in our last class, and we will take up mantra number 8. Before that, I want to give a small introduction that we are now changing the topic, changing between the two topics. Earlier we discussed the self-analysis, Atma Vichara. Now we will be entering into the analysis of Omkara, Omkara Vichara. So one thing we have to remember, that if the concept of duality is really true, that we see manifoldness, and that is true. We see plurality, that is true. Then there will be no end to our suffering. This is the logical conclusion of our earlier studies. We have spent already 19 hours on discussing on the self-realization topic, and we have said that the realization will be a non-dual realization. Because if duality is really true, ultimately true, then there will have no end to our suffering. That is why one has to accept that non-duality should be the ultimate truth. We were discussing this subject. This is true logically, this is true scientifically, and also practically. Duality is a unique concept. Why I say it unique? But because very difficult to explain what it is. You cannot say that this duality has a beginning, and you cannot say that it has no beginning. Last time we discussed that we cannot trace the beginning of this creation, of this duality. And at the same time, if we say it has no beginning, then it will have no end. Our suffering will not end. And then it says that it does not have both. It does not have a beginning, and it does not have also no beginning. It does not have a beginning and does not have no beginning. Then what remains? It has neither. You cannot say that it is beginningless. You cannot say that it has a beginning. Then what it is? It is neither. Then what it is? It is non-dual. Hence, this Upanishad said that duality is an error. And the cause of this error is called ignorance or Maya. That's what we have seen last time. The Vedic acceptance of duality is meant for the instructions to the students. Because if we say duality is Maya and error, then why did the Vedas speak of duality at all? There are dualistic passages in the Upanishads, in the Vedas. Why do they talk about it at all? So the scriptures say that Upadeshartham ayam vadaha. These types of passages, they are meant for the instructions to the students. Because Guru-Shishya relationship, student and teacher relationship, that happens in the dualistic realm only. After the realization, duality does not exist. Hence, the duality that we experience is relative, or we said mithya. So we have read prapanchopasamam advaitam. Prapanchopasamam, when the duality ends, then advaitam, the realization should be non-dual. The Atma Vichara is over with this, with the study of the 7th mantra that we have said, and that had 18 karikas. Now let me continue with that introduction. Suppose you are taking yourself as the object of Mandukya Upanishad investigation. So long we have been discussing things as if we are trying to understand things, standing apart from this whole discussion. But here, suppose you are part of this investigation as an object. You have a name. You are known to yourself and also to others as some name. Suppose I use this word John. John is your name. Mandukya asks you to do one favor to it in this very critical investigation. Only one favor. And what is that? You offer yourself as a volunteer. You are a volunteer to this investigation. The investigation is being conducted on you, and you are part of it. Now it asks you, please remove your name from you, because you are the volunteer. So the first thing it will ask, please remove your name, that John, that name, or Vishwa from you. Can you do that? Yes, I can. How? I take another name and change it in my passport. But the Upanishad asked that you should remove your name, not change it. You should remove it altogether. You have to drop it. Can you do that? Now you are at a loss. Is it actually possible? Then you say, well, I will drop it when I die. Similarly, can you drop your shape or form? Yes. How? It is so easy, because I changed my shape so many times in my life. And I will continue to change until my body meets its final, ultimate fate, that is called death. Then again the question comes, can you change your utility? My utility, you may ask. What is that? Then the Upanishad may tell you, you, my dear John, you are born without your name. You are born without a name. But you had a shape, and which is no more there. Your utility, you were looked upon as a baby son, baby brother, baby nephew, and so on. Now at this age of, suppose, 67, you are no more a baby. And that baby does not exist now. And in between you have changed so many shapes. Now you may be a husband, a father, a grandfather, a mother, an uncle, an auntie, an officer, and what not. So your utility changed, and it has been changing continuously. Can you drop your utility altogether? Yes. When? At death. Always you said death, death, death. Name goes after death. Shape goes after death. Then your utility disappears after death. These are all silly suggestions. Upanishad asks you, you have to drop your name, form and utility not after death, here and now. Here and now. The Upanishad asked you to drop it here and now. You are not asked to wait. You are not asked to walk down 100 kilometers and drop it. Here and now. You should do it by your own effort. You are a volunteer. You have enrolled yourself as a volunteer. That is called your self-analysis. That is called a spiritual practice in Vedanta. Still you have no clue? Well, here is a lead. You follow the training that you have got from the Chaturtha or Turiyam, discussion of Chaturtha. We discussed what is this Turiya. Start seeing the example of gold and bangles, etc. from the other side. What is the other side? Let me ask. What is a bangle? It is a name, a form, and a utility. Now let me ask you to touch it. Touch it. You touch the bangle. Now I ask, what are you touching? A bangle. What is a bangle? It is separate from a necklace because it has its separate name, form, and utility. This is called Vastu Paricheda, object limitation. And then? And nothing. Can you touch the name bangle? No, you cannot touch it separately. You have to touch it together with its form. Can you still separate the name as an independent entity? Can you take it out from the bangle? You were not John when you are born. Name has been given afterwards. It has been given. We have discussed this logic. That which has been given can be removed. Your name was added to your changeful shapes so that you appear to be one and the same person. You appear to be. Why can't you separate the name from the shape now? We can't. And you see, this is the way we complicate matters. Now a further lead. What is the other side of this argument? Look at the bangle from the side of gold. This is the other side. Can you touch the bangle without touching the gold? And can you touch the bangle without the gold? Can you touch the name bangle without the gold? No. Can you touch the shape without the gold? No. Can you touch the utility without the gold? No. Very good. Now let us look at it from the other side. Now comes the question of all questions. The question of all questions, the ultimate question. Can you touch the gold without the name, form, and utility of the bangle? Can you touch the gold only without the name, form, and utility of the bangle or any ornament? Yes. How? Because the Mandukya Upanishad taught us that the gold can remain without name, form, and utility. But the bangle cannot remain without gold. The gold can remain without the bangle being a bangle, a ring or chain and so on. But the names, forms and utility cannot remain without the gold. So the gold can be there without the gold, without the name, form and utility. The gold can be there without being bangle, chain, ring, bracelet, whatnot. Right? No. Not right. It seemed so easy. No, not right. You got it absolutely wrong. Why do you forget that you have agreed to be a volunteer? That is the trick here. You agreed to be a volunteer. You are a volunteer. What do you understand by this? Now again let us ask the same question, the question of all questions. Can you touch the gold without the name, form and utility of a bangle? Yes. How? Because the Mandukya Upanishad taught us that the gold can remain without being anything. It is pure gold. That seems right. But what was my question? Can you touch only the gold without the name, form and utility? Now look at the question and understand it a step further. The suggestion is, suppose you have melted the bangle. What do you have now? Gold and gold only. Right? Again, look at the question of questions. The same question. So when you have melted the bangle, then you have gold and gold only. Now the question is, can you touch this gold? It is no more a bangle, it is just gold. Can you touch this gold? We may be inclined to say yes, but I would say you cannot say yes. Because at this point of self-enquiry, the example has served its purpose and lost its utility or validity. The example is no more valid. The example of bangle and gold ended here, before this. Do you get the point? We used the example to help you reach the target of that example. What is the target? You, the volunteer, the self. Hence, you are not asked to touch the gold. There is no more gold. The example has ended. You are the volunteer. Hence, you are the gold of the example. You are being compared with gold in the ultimate illustration. The gold is you. You are the conscious principle. You can be there and are there without all the names, forms and utility. You are not separate from you. Hence, you cannot touch yourself. Gold cannot touch itself because it is one and single Advaita, non-dual gold. Clear? This is non-dual experience. This is non-dual experience. Let us listen to a conversation between Rishi Yajnavalkya and his learned wife Brahmavadini Maitreyi. It occurs in the second part of the celebrated fourth chapter of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. What an episode of an overwhelmingly illuminating conversation between the husband and the wife at that distant point of time in human history. It happened in around 8000 BC, some 10,000 years from now. It is amazing to imagine how civilized those people were. There were no vain display of formal customs and rituals in public life, and the die-hard primitive table manners that would go in the name of modern civilization. But look at the cultured and civilized self-enquiry. A married couple is discussing the highest principles of renunciation and self-enquiry. It shows that the cultural and civilizational evolution reached its ultimate excellence then, 10,000 years ago. And we have fallen so far down in the name of modernity. Anyway, I would have read out the whole chapter to you. It is so direct and so much about our heart's search for an assurance that we do not meet with our death, with the death of our physical body, and that we are never lost. But I resist the temptation. It is a long and significant conversation supporting the foundation of non-dual Vedanta. You may get hold of an authentic copy of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and read this chapter yourself. But I would advise you to read it with its commentary to know more about its implications. Again, I would suggest that the same texts have been used by many scholars depending on the context of their discussions. Hence, reading from the original is always recommended. Reading with the commentaries is better, and reading it with the help of a traditionally trained and also practicing person is the best. Then you get to know the correctness of the sentences, and then you make out the meaning according to the viewpoint. Let me give you an example why I am telling so many things about this passage. Suppose we use a sentence as an illustration. Suppose the sentence is, did I tell you this? This is the question. Did I tell you this? This is a sentence we are going to analyze. Do you think this sentence is correct grammatically? Of course, yes. It makes a sense and grammatically correct. It is past tense. Did I tell you this? Now, what is the meaning of this sentence? The sentence is grammatically correct. The meaning also should be clear. Now, let me explain. It has at least 4 meanings. At least 4 meanings. I say at least means I can show more meanings in it. We are only talking about the meanings of the whole sentence. But the logic used by Vedanta analyze the meanings of words also. If they are authentic, dependable, then it would be a big study. Anyway, these 4 meanings of the sentence are all correct meanings depending on what I want to say. Doubtful? Let us see. Let me say the sentence in 4 different ways. You will know there are 4 different meanings in this one sentence. Now listen to me when I am saying this sentence. So we have taken this sentence that did I say this to you. Now let me say it first. Did I say this to you? See, the stress is on I. So I am contradicting the meaning that I said it to you. Did I say this to you? Now number 2. Now let me repeat the sentence in another way. Did I say this to you? Did I say this to you? Now I am contradicting the word say. It may be that you have derived this meaning by hearing it from somebody else. By hearing. Number 3. Again let me say this in this way. Did I say this to you? Did I say this to you? Here I am contradicting the meaning of the word this. That means I might have said something else, not this. Number 4 again. Did I say this to you? Did I say this to you? Here I am contradicting the meaning of the word you. That means I might have said this not to you, but to somebody else. Still, all the meanings are surely correct, separately, as you use them depending on some statement or statements, some background. Those all meanings together may not be correct in the same situation. Each situation will derive one meaning. That is why one needs to study the scriptural texts under trained persons. Now anyway, let me give a gist of this Brihadaranyaka passage. It starts with this question. With this, the Yajnavalkya came to Maitreyi and raised this topic. Yajnavalkya is telling her, Maitreyi, my dear, I am going to take up the life of a monk, sannyasi. I am going to renounce the householder's life and become an ordained monk. Hence, let me make a final settlement of our property. Then Maitreyi said, O my dear, if indeed the whole earth full of wealth belonged to me, would I be immortal through that? Yajnavalkya replied, No, your life would be just like the life of people who have plenty of material wealth, name, fame, etc. However, there is less hope of attaining immortality through worldly prosperity if we are not looking beyond the worldly existence of ours. Then Maitreyi remarked, Then my dear husband, tell me honestly, what should I do with property or wealth which would not make me immortal? Tell me of that alone which you know to be the only means of attaining immortality. That means Maitreyi is asking, can you give me the share of that for which you are giving up your wealth? That seems to be more valuable than this wealth. That is why you are giving up this wealth for that. Give me a share of that. Can you give me a share of that? And further into the conversation, speaking about how non-dual experience is different from dual experience, Yajnavalkya is explaining. How non-dual experience is different from dual experience. That's what we had been discussing. The gold cannot know itself separately as gold. So Yajnavalkya says, as a lump of salt dropped into water becomes dissolved in water and cannot be taken out again. But wherever we taste the same water, it will taste salty. Even so, this great, endless, infinite reality is pure intelligence, pure existence, and pure bliss. This self appears as a separate entity because of the 5 material elements, and with their destruction, this separate existence also is destroyed. This gold, suppose I convert it into gold, instead of this self, this gold appears as separate entities, bangle, etc., made of the material of this world. And with their destruction, this separate existence also is destroyed. The name, shape, and the utility, these 3 things are given by this materialistic world. The self is the self. After attaining oneness, it has no more dual consciousness. This is the answer to that question of questions. After attaining oneness, it has no more dual consciousness. Dual consciousness that you want to know yourself. Then Maitreyi said, just here you have confused me by saying that after attaining oneness, the self has no more separate consciousness. This is the problem with us. Maitreyi is raising a very practical question. We want to know non-dual realization remaining aloof from the discussion, not as a volunteer. Even if when we are a volunteer, still we cannot come out of that age-old samskara that I am an individual. Yajnavalkya felt concerned, then immediately replied, "Certainly I am not saying anything confusing, my dear." Then he said, "For when there is duality, as it were, then one smells another, one sees another, one hears another, one speaks to another, one thinks of another, one knows another, one touches another, one hears another, one even tastes another thing, etc. Touching is possible. Can you touch the name? Can you touch the gold? These are the questions. You may touch the name together with the gold, but can you touch that name touch the gold without the name? No. That dual consciousness is gone, separate consciousness is gone. But when everything has become the self, then what should one smell and through what? What should one see and through what? What should one hear and through what? What should one speak and through what? What should one think and through what? What should one know and through what? Each and every part of our instruments for attaining knowledge is being spoken of here. Through what should one know, Yajnavalkya is saying, through what should one know the subject who knows all that is known? And by what? By what means, my dear, should one know the knower? Vijñātāramare kena vijaniyāt. How? By what means one would know the knower? The knower is always the knower. And if it is known, then it will be an object, not the subject. And that which is not the knower is an object of the knower. Because it is the ultimate knower, in which all the subsidiary knowers lose their identity, their meaning, their utility. Clear? In this discussion, the Upanishad says that the knower knows himself or herself not as a separate entity, not standing aside and knowing one's own self. Suppose the person A sees A touches A. It is not possible. A is A. Hence there is no question of touching, seeing, etc. in the single infinite entity. You my dear volunteer, you are that Atman, that gold only. The one and only gold cannot touch itself. And you experience it here and now. I am Brahman, here and now. You are the volunteer who wanted to find yourself. You do not wait until death, until you attain samadhi even. That is why this Upanishad says, Shantam Shivam Advaitam. The moment you experience your separateness from changeful name, form and utility, you are what you are. As the name ring is an indicator of gold, as the ring shape is an indicator of the essence gold, and as the utility of the ring is an indicator of the utility of gold only. In the same way, Maitreyi, the name John or Vishwa, the shape of Vishwa and the utility of Vishwa are nothing but the same Atman being experienced in different ways. Name is always dependent on the shape and utility. When the form and utility are gone, the name also becomes immaterial. With this understanding, we proceed to the next topic, Omkara Vichara, analysis of Om. The Mandukya Upanishad began with two inquiries, Atma Vichara or Omkara Vichara, analysis of the self and analysis of Om. We have studied Atma Vichara very extensively in these 19 plus classes. From Upanishad mantra number 2 to 7. It is a group of 6 mantras. Now we will go to Omkara Vichara from mantra number 1, that is mantra number 1 and mantra number 8 to 12. So another group of 6. That is how these are 12 mantras. So 2 to 7, these 6 mantras discuss the self-analysis, and number 1 and number 8 to 12, these 6, they discuss Omkara Vichara. The most of the logical, practical and with the Upanishadic data analysis have been done already. The most of the analysis in the logical way and also in the practical way. Most of the analysis have been done using the data from the Upanishad in respect of Atma Vichara. So I do not want to go into very details of this Omkara Vichara. I will try to summarize this within a very short time and within this class itself. Before we move forward, let us remember some basic ideas that we have learned, but generally we tend to forget them. Atma Vichara or self-analysis means Padartha Vichara, analysis of the implied meaning of the word or sound or names. Like in the example of the gold and ornaments, we analyze the implication or essence behind the ornaments. Gold is the essence, because if we remove gold, there will be no gold ornaments. Similarly, when we did self-analysis, we analyzed the 4 parts of Atman, being padas, being available in the 3 states and as the 3, and finally as the stateless Turiyam. Om Vichara or Omkara Vichara or analysis of Om means Pada Vichara, word analysis. So we did the meaning analysis before, now we are going to do the word analysis. And we have to do both, because you cannot have a word without its meaning, and you cannot have a meaning without the word. Therefore the name and the thing which is named that way can never be separated. Clear? Normally when we analyze any word, we find that it can reveal a thing which is already known by us. When we saw the blackboard first time, we did not know what it is called. The teacher told that it is a blackboard. We, with our sense organs, experienced the object and then heard the word blackboard. So we knew that the object experienced and the word heard are connected. The word is called Padam and the object is called the Padartha. So we know a word, we had to know the sound and the corresponding object also. So we understand that the word Padam reveals this thing Padartha. Padam is Om, Padartha is Atman, self. This is called learning of language. These analysis we did standing aside as the analyzer or observer. We have observed that both the time and space, or the speed and location of any changeful thing or object cannot be known at the same time by the observer, the subject. But here in our investigation, the observer is playing both roles of the subject, the analyzer, and the object, the analyzed. The subject and the object are the same. I am analyzing myself. I am separating and looking inside and beyond each layer of my sense of I and mine. I and mine. Each layer of these senses. In the example of the gold and the gold ornaments, I was a separate, independent analyzer. But here I analyze myself. I am a volunteer here. This is the main problem of our non-dual understanding. You cannot delete your sense of duality. That is the main problem. You cannot come out of the samskara that we have gathered through many births. Samskara of enjoying the rights of being a limited individual. Individuality is strongly adhered to because of our mortal fear. It is a fear of losing our individuality. It can be a fear that we will lose our limitation. It can be a fear that we will destroy our ignorance. Can it be a fear? To be sure, we have to lose it helplessly, whether we like it or not. Hence the Upanishad has taken up the Omkara Vichara. And the Acharya Gaudapada has explained our mistake by a painstaking investigation in the next 3 chapters. Vaitathya Prakaranam, Advaita Prakaranam and Alata Shanti Prakaranam. In the Upanishad, Gaudapada and the great commentators have tried to bring home the idea that the gold that is individualized as ornaments is always gold, nothing but gold. The ornaments are nothing but gold. Similarly, the Atman, individualized as Vishva, Taijasa, Prajna, and finally Turiya, are nothing but Turiya. Or as we will see, that as A, U, and silence, that is always Atman and nothing but Atman. So we read the first mantra of this Omkara Vichara. That is actually the mantra number 8 of the Upanishad. Soyam Atma Adhi Aksharam Omkaraha Adhimatram Pada Matraha Matrascha Padaha Akara Ukara Makara iti. That very self, considered from the standpoint of the individualized parts, is Om. When we are thinking of Vishva Taijasa Prajna or bangle, ring and necklace, that is called Om. That means considered from the standpoint of the letters in Om, the quarters of the self, padas of the self, are the letters of Om. They correspond to the letters of Om. And the letters are the quarters. The letters are A, U, Ma. Akara, Ukara, Makara iti, the Upanishad said. A, U and In the analysis of Atman inquiry, we divided the Atman into 4 padas or parts or aspects. We will learn the same analysis in respect of Omkara or Om, comparing the padas of Om. Omkara means Om plus Kara. Om is a word and Kara means a word or a letter. It is word analysis, Pada Vichara as I have said, and not a meaning analysis, not Padartha Vichara. We are not taking up the self to analyze. But when we are doing Om analysis, we are going together with the Atman analysis. You cannot separate Om from Atman and Atman from Om. We are analyzing the word Om and not the meaning of it now. Atman has 4 padas. Om is divided into 4 matras or letters or parts. But we find only 3 letters here. The Upanishad says Soyam Atma means that Atman. Adhyaksharam, which means from the standpoint of total aksharam, the total number of letters, total Om. It is the total Atman. Om is the total Atman. Adhimatram, from the standpoint of the matras or letters of Om, means from one standpoint, the other is included. From other standpoint, the first one is also included. Padaha matra matrascha padaha. It says that you cannot separate them. What is called the parts of Atman are the letters of Om. The padas in respect of the Atman correspond to the matras of Om and vice versa. That is the meaning. The total Omkara is the total Atman. How is it? The table will be helpful. So, A equal to the Prathama Pada or Jagrat Avastha, waking state. This is generally understood like that. I will explain it. U generally corresponds to the Dvitiya Pada or the dream state. Ma is the Tritiya Pada or the deep sleep state. Now the word Akara means the sound or letter A. Ukara means letter U. Makara means the letter M. What is the fourth matra, fourth letter? That will be told later. That silence preceding and succeeding the pronunciation of Om is the fourth matra, the fourth letter. This is called Amatra. Amatra means it is not at all a letter, but it is there. Like Turiya is not at all something fourth, but it is always there together, but it can remain without also. Without 3 states it can remain. Like when we start chanting Om, the silence out of which this Om sound appears and into which it disappears after we have finished chanting it, that is called silence. We will read about it later. Now let us recall what we discussed in the mantras regarding self-analysis. The Upanishad says, Ayam Atma Chatuspad. This Atman has 4 padas, 4 parts, aspects, quarters. What is a pada? Let us take the instance of Vishwa or the Vaikar. In its collective meaning, it is called Vaishvanara or Virat, that has been said. The Vaikar belongs to the waking state. What is the waking state? Waking state means waking place. The field of the waker's wakefulness. Hence the first pada means the waking state. This is how generally we understand, but that is wrong. The first pada means, we have to remember, we read it many times, we have discussed this. The first pada, first quarter is not waking state. It is the consciousness associated with the waking state. The consciousness is always there. The bangle cannot remain without gold. Consciousness is always there. But gold can remain without being a bangle. We are talking about the aspects of Atman. Here Atman is the main player, because the 4 padas are the padas of Atman, not of the states. Clear? Now the analysis of the word Padavichara will begin. Word analysis means analysis of the name Om, like analysis of the name John or Vishwa, having its limited field of applicability, and so on. Instead of calling it the waker, we will call it A. Instead of calling it the sleeper, dreamer, we will call it U. Instead of calling it the sleeper, dreamless sleeper, we will call it So now the next one is mantra number 9. I will read this mantra only after this, and after other mantras I will summarize. The Vaishvanara, or the individual Vishwa, the waker, having the waking state as its limited field of work, is the first letter A. This is the mantra. Jagarita sthano Vaishvanara akara. A. They, meaning Vishwa and the letter A, have the similarity. That is why. Similarity or common factors. What are those common factors? The number 1, that A is pervasive, Vishwa is also pervasive, more extensive. And A is the first and Vishwa is the first. Then the Upanishad, because we have to remember, when we are studying, we are in our waking state. That is the first state. So that is the first. And it is more pervasive, that I am going to explain. Then the Upanishad recommends an easier approach of Upasana also together with this. Meditate on this Vaishvanara or Virat Upasana. So this idea that the Upanishad says, he who knows thus does surely attain all desirable things and become the foremost. So there the idea of the meditation is included here. Now why is the A or of Om equated or compared to the first Pada of Atman? It is because of the factor that the letter A means the most comprehensive, extensive and pervasive, like the first Pada Vishwa. Now why Vishwa is called so pervasive? How can we say that? Well, listen, the waker has a gross physical body. The dreamer has a subtle body which is consisted of 3 kosas, 3 layers of beings. The waker Vishwa actually includes the dreamer Taijasa also. This is the idea. Not only Vishwa but Taijasa we are taking into consideration. How? The waker is identified with the physical body, the Annamaya kosa, the material seed. And this physical body has only the instrument of perceptions, etc. The instruments, the machines, the implements. So instruments of perception like the physical eye made of flesh and blood, etc. The physical ear, the physical tongue, these are all instruments. But the real act of seeing, feeling is done by the indriyas, not the instrument. They are called sense organs. These eyes which belong to the physical body, they are sense instruments and they reflect the objects. But the cognition, understanding, recognition of the object happens with the help of the sense organs, not instruments. Instruments are just like reflectors of lights, like the eyes. These sense organs, indriyas, they belong to the subtle body, that is the dream body. Therefore, if you want to complete your seeing with the eyes or hearing with the ears, you have to connect yourself to the dream body, subtle body. Then only you can make a sense out of all your seeing. Otherwise, they don't make any sense. The indriyas take the help of the machines, sense instruments. Even the prana, the vital forces, that also make the subtle body have to work in the gross physical body. Otherwise, the physical body is dead. Even in deep sleep also the pranas work. The subtle body makes the dream state inside the physical body. Hence, the physical body includes the subtle body. Clear? That is why it is more extensive. Another question is, can Vishwa see things with eyes in the waking state? If you say that the dream state is no more there in the waking state, then there is a problem. Because the eyes can reflect objects, as I said, but they cannot know. So therefore, Vishwa has to be more extensive. On the other hand, A or Om of Om is the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. Well, we are almost coming to the end of our time. Let me take up only this A. So, all other letters in this Om have in the alphabet have A in them. That is why Sri Krishna says in the Gita, Aksharanam akarosmi, I am the A among all the letters in the alphabet. Hence the Upanishad mantra says that A stands for Vishwa, U stands for Taijasa, and M stands for Prajna. And then silence does not need to stand for any letter, but silence is Turiya. Silence does not need any expression. The equation leads to the conclusion that the whole Om is me. The whole Om is I, you. I am being referred to as Om by the mantra. As I chant Om, I am thinking of myself. A is the representative of all the words in the waking state. U is the representative of all the words in the dream state, and M is the representative of all the words in dreamless sleep state. Silence is the dissolution of all words. The words dissolve in where? In Atman. In both the inquiries, silence is the Turiyam. In both the inquiries, silence is the Turiyam. So I will stop here. It goes a bit further, and then we will conclude this chapter next time. So thank you very much. We will end this with chanting of Om once. Om.